Welcome back. Let's do a little bit of shopping today. I'm at Fred Meyer's and I came in just to grab a few things that we needed, and I figured I would check out and see how their supply is going. It looks like they're pretty low on eggs and butter and other dairy products. I don't know if this is the case for you where you are located. Let me know down in the comments. Some of the shelves were empty. This is in the milk area. They were very limited with what they had as far as milk products. So that was a little bit concerning. They had very little, if any, organic, that kind of thing today. But I thought that the empty milk area was a little bit startling because normally it's very full. I found these items on sale and I did not buy all of them, but I thought you guys might be interested in the prices of these. Is it comparable to what is in your location for crock pots and instant pots? I need to look on Amazon to make a comparison, but these Gamma Seal animal food bins are really great for food storage, for dry food. And I also wanted to just check out survival foods like Spam. It's gone up in price significantly. I would say a $2 increase. This chicken breast has gone up a couple of dollars as well. I normally get the natural or organic chicken breast cans, but it's up to $5, $6 a piece. These Campbell's soups used to be $1. They've gone up. Some of these stocks are going up as well. I mean, all the prices are. They can put those yellow tags on them, but I think that's the price last year. They make it look like it's on sale, but no, not really. It's just the normal price. These noodles and pastas are still in stock, so they weren't running out of that yet. And then they had plenty of beans and rice on the grocery store shelves. I'm also going to be heading over to Cash and Carry to check out their prices. When I went outside, I was just shocked at the price of these, and I definitely want to get some starts that I wasn't able to grow myself due to space and time and that sort of thing. But I'm going to go to Azure Standard because they have starts for $3.30 on average, and these were a good $1.50 more than what I saw at Azure Standard. And then I went to the Chef Supply store, and this is where I can get 50-pound bags of sushi rice. This is where you can get 50-pound bags of beans and 25 and 20-pound bags of beans in bulk. Right now they are fully stocked on all of these items, but I'm curious if this is going to be something that we are going to start seeing less and less of. Is this going to take a year for us to start seeing supply shortages? What is going on where you are? I'm very interested in that. Recently, Azure Standard had their warehouse burn down, their main headquarters. And last month, I was able to purchase some honey and some molasses, some other liquid items, and then that processing plant burned down. So, there's things that we need to be mindful of. There were quite a few fires at food stores, food manufacturing places, that kind of thing. There's the bird flu. There's a lot going on. So things to keep in mind. There's predicted wheat shortages. So you're going to see shortages on pastas. You're going to see shortages on flours and grains and different grains and things like that. I'm not sure about beans. If there's going to be a shortage on these, but it's definitely worth stocking up on some beans and rice and maybe investing in some Beano if you're not able to tolerate beans. That way you are sure to have a dry storage of food for your family. I'm going to go ahead and get 100 pounds of rice today, and I'll probably grab another 100 pounds of rice next month, finances allowing. And this is just to keep in my rotation of food stores and foods that we continuously eat on. So I'm going to be continuously replenishing that supply. And there's ways to preserve your dry goods so that they are bug free and that they maintain their freshness and their quality. So I have been sharing a lot about that on my channel. But for now, I just wanted to give you an idea of these prices. You can pause it and look at the prices, zoom in, see what you can see as far as quantity and prices, and compare them with where you are. And I'm just thankful that so far I'm not seeing empty shelves. I am considering getting this bag of cane sugar to store in some Gamma Seal buckets. This is just an economical way to put back and store a large quantity for the future or for end of days. This bucket of coconut oil actually came down in price, which I was surprised to see. It was $75 last year for a tub of coconut oil. insane. Like, it used to not be that price, but I'm not sure what happened. But when it went up to $75 at this store, I think it was like a mistake, but it's back down to $35. It used to be $25 a couple years ago. So the spike up to $75, I'm not sure why that happened. They've still got all of their all-purpose flours in stock at this restaurant supply store. And no real shortages here. So there's my 2 huge bags, and I'm going to take all this stuff home and we're going to have a little chat. Hello, welcome back to Rouse Rising. If you are new here, my name is Katie. On this channel, I like to share with you all about nourishing meal prep, holistic homemaking, lifestyle parenting. If you're into all of that, be sure to click the subscribe button so that you can stick around for all the goodness that I have to share with you. Today, we are focusing on what's going on in the world today. And I'm not here to scare anybody, but let's be real, and I'm going to start this off right at the bat. You need to be stocking your home with food in case of an emergency, food shortages, a grid outage, something like that. And I'm not talking like crazy prepping to the max and having like a 50-year food supply or anything like that. But I'm just talking about making sure that you have foods that will feed your family in a pinch, but that you can set aside for 25 years if you need to. There's different ways that you can store these foods, and I share a lot about that on my channel. So go back and check out some of my most recent videos, and you're gonna see just how you can store your foods, where to start, how to source these foods, you know, where you can get good prices locally, that kind of thing. So if you are ready to start putting away little amounts of food for your family, stick around. I'm gonna share with you today my grocery haul. I'm also gonna share with you what I saw today when I went to the grocery store in my town. I don't know if this is the case all around the country. If you are experiencing certain products in shortages around where you live, let me know down in the comments. I'm curious what's going on in your town. I know that there's hot spots for where they're having a lot of difficulties with supply and the food chain, the modern day food chain, and where food is coming from, and there's just some issues right now going on. I'm not going to go into details. I just know from what I've seen and what I've researched that right now they are predicting food shortages with certain types of food. So if you are able to, you need to be growing some food in your garden. You need to be growing some food on your kitchen counter, in a closet with a grow light. I'm growing things right here beside me with a grow light inside. I will link the grow light down below. There's also some videos on it that I haven't done, but you can make sure that you are taking a little baby step every month to prepare your family in case of an emergency, or if you lose a job, or if there's an injury, or if somebody gets sick and you're not able to get out of the house for whatever reason. That you have a few months up to a year's supply of food, if at all possible. Start small. You don't have to go out and get everything right now. You can go out and buy a 10-pound bag of rice, an extra bag of beans, that kind of thing. Just start small. And when you buy that extra bag of rice or extra bag of beans, you can airlock it into these jars, and that's going to help preserve them a lot more. I'll link that above. But make sure that you are doing something to prepare your families for a situation where you might need food, the bare necessities, food, water, shelter. You want to make sure that those things are secure and that you're taking care of your house and home. So without further ado, I'm going to go over my grocery haul, what I picked up this month extra for my family. We love sushi rice, so I got these 50-pound bags of sushi rice. They were $40. It is a little bit more expensive rice. I've got a lot of long grain rice, which isn't our favorite type of rice, stored away in my long-term food storage, but I figured if I can buy my 6-month to year supply of rice today, that I was just going to go ahead and invest that extra money that I had earned into doing that. So I got 100 pounds of rice for $80. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive. You can probably find rice, your favorite type of rice, maybe less expensive, or if you like sushi rice like we do. I don't know, I used to always try to turn long grain rice and other rices into sushi rice. You can't, okay? Buy the sushi rice, it's delicious. We love it. We used to go through like a cup and a half of rice a day as a family of 7. We can easily probably go bump up to 3 cups now. Yeah, we might be able to do 2.5, 3 cups of rice because we're starting to eat a lot more rice in our diet. It's just good. It helps fill the kids' bellies. I can add bone broth to it. These shelves are empty because I just moved them here last night. So I'm filling this up with all of my canned items that are in my pantry storage because for a couple of reasons. I'll go into that later, but I'm going to put at the end of this video me loading down these shelves with all of the home canned foods that I have done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drape a blackout curtain across here and then maybe on like a pole or whatever, and then I can just slide it to the side and access what I need, but then everything's blacked out and kept out of the light. So this is my little side project. I have a lot going on, but the reason why I chose this is because I can adjust these shelves and I have a whole lot of extra shelves, so I can really maximize this space. And I have some other bookshelves that I wasn't able to do that. So I was like, okay, this will be perfect. Let me know, do you think I should paint this? Should I paint this? I just painted this back here and I just painted this table. And I'm like, should I paint this before I load it up with all of my goods? I don't know. Or did I just leave it like this because I need to move on with life. Like I can't get hung up on this being empty right now. So if I paint it, I'm going to have to paint it in like the next day or two. I have like 10,000 projects and not enough time or hands to do them all. So back to this grocery haul. 100 pounds of rice, $80. We also got, I say we because I took my kids with me grocery shopping this morning. After we dropped the big kids off at school, I still had 2 kids with me, so we went to the grocery store. We love olives, so I try to buy the biggest jar of olives that I can find and the least expensive because let's face it, olives are expensive. Food is expensive, but it's a nice treat for our family. And we can probably go through one of these in a sitting as we're growing and eating more food. But we probably go through half in a sitting. We have never gone through a whole one of these before because I always put them away and save them for another day. But I thought these would be a nice thing to have for like charcuterie boards and things like that. So I just bought some extra ones to stash away for about a couple of years maybe. These are going to go in my long term, or I'm going to forget about them, hopefully, because if I don't, we won't have them. But this would be a nice thing just to have tucked away, a nice special treat. I grabbed these. I make all of our own bone broth and meat broth. I currently have pork meat going, pork tenderloins that I'm slow cooking all day, and they're yielding quite a bit of broth. And I'm going to add some water to that and some vegetables and cook it and can some more broth with that today. Should we run out of broth, meats, that kind of thing, this is something that is shelf stable. It does expire, it does have an expiration, but I imagine that this will be fine on the shelves for a couple of years. And we can always donate it if we don't ever get around to eating it. But in an emergency situation, I want to make sure I have some bouillon on hand to flavor our rice, to flavor our beans. The things that we have that we will be eating daily, we also hunt and we can grow our own food as long as Oregon is allowing us to, but and raise our own meat. But we do hunt, so I'm always hopeful that we will have meat and bones to make broths and things like that. But in a pinch, if I don't, then we can make our food more flavorful, more delicious, more appealing, appetizing, whatever, with things that are on our shelves that are stored long term. So that'll be good for that. They had butter on sale. When I say on sale, what are your butter prices? This European style butter, I'm going to be using this to make a cake for Riker. We don't do cakes very often, so when I do, I like to make real delicious homemade buttercream. And so I got this. I think this is unsalted. Yeah, this is unsalted. This was $4.04. It said it was on sale for $3, but I must not have scanned the thing right. I'm not sure because on my receipt it says $4.04. So this is what, half a pound? Oh no, this is 8 ounces of butter. I went ahead and grabbed 4 of those, and I will freeze what I don't use and save that for a cake for my husband's birthday. So we've got other birthdays coming up that we can use butter for. And then I grabbed a Land O'Lakes butter because it was the most economical that they had. And this is just a stash in the freezer. I'm just trying to get a little bit extra here and there. This was $6 for 1 pound of butter. $6. 6. I need a cow. because we go through a pound of butter a week probably. And we also use lard, so I have a lot of lard to render down, so we need to just save the butter for putting on our bread, and then we'll use lard for cooking and the coconut oils and things like that for cooking. All right, we're gonna lay off the butter and just save that for bread, because $6, I mean, come on. And that was the only one that they had of this kind of butter. So, carrots, organic carrots, $2.49. I'm planting more carrots, I'm gonna plant more. But $2.49 for 2 pounds of carrots. And then we have, these were $2.08 a can. I went ahead and got the 6-pack, and it was $12.49 for this 6-pack, which I'm not sure what chicken was, because I just started buying canned chicken, because we haven't, I've got a couple chickens in my freezer still that we're moving through, and I don't want to can them. I just like to go ahead and eat them when we have them, because it feeds us for a good week. It gives us probably 3 meals with those 6-pound chickens that we have in our freezer. And those were from a farm, but this is another emergency food storage item that I can just throw on some rice or whatever, and we can have a meal. It's also easy for summer, so chicken salads and things like that. So it'll get eaten, I'm sure. I have a bunch of other canned chickens too, so I'm just putting this in the rotation. And I try to get the organic cans when I can, but they run like $5 a can. So I think for an emergency food situation, this is gonna go with my olives. It's gonna get stashed away in my reevaluate in a year pantry. And that's just a pantry that I have set aside that for a year. It's things that I want to sit in there in a year, and then I go and I check it out and I'm like, okay, what do I need to use now? Okay, so that's what I have going on in another location that I don't, utilize very often. But right here, this is an extension of my kitchen. So I have a utility shelf right here that I'm working on organizing, and then I added this, and it's probably gonna get painted. Let's be real. It would look a lot better painted, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm also eager to reorganize my cabinets. Oh, this canning set, I needed a new canning set. This one was on sale. I looked on Amazon really quick, and the ones on Amazon were on sale for $19, okay? And this one was $11.49 at my Fred Meyer's grocery store. So I picked that up because my kids have taken all my canning set tools. So I'm gonna keep all of this in this box, and on the days when I'm gonna can, I'm gonna pull this out of my secret hidden stash of mommy things that nobody's allowed to mess with, because they're mine and I need them to provide for my family. So stop taking my stuff, kids. My magnet, I need my magnet for my lids. I get my lids out with other things, but it's just so much more convenient. They always steal my tongs. They always steal. This is a favorite, the jar lifter. They love that. And I find it, the silicone's off because the babies will take it out of the drawers and chew on it before I catch them. And so all the babies have chewed on it. They haven't eaten the silicone. I peel it off when it gets ratty. So yeah, check out your Fred Meyer's, your Kroger store for these on sale right now. But yeah, that's my little grocery haul. That's my little spiel about getting your house ready, about making sure that you have the ability to make food without electricity, that you have that skill of building a fire and cooking food if you need to, that you have the correct tools for that type of emergency, and that you're setting food aside. So once I have this all blacked out and closed off, then what I'll do is, and I'm thinking maybe I'll put some doors on it. I'm getting too complicated. Things like, this is deer stew, and I made this in November. I still have yet to edit and upload that video for you guys, so let me know down in the comments below. Do you want to see me can deer stew? And I also did some jalapeno. This is jalapeno elk meat. I've got a couple cans of that. I had a bunch of elk meat that I needed to use up in the freezer, because once it starts to get around 6 months to a year, it starts to get a little crazy. And then over here, we've got more elk meat. So these are really good. The broth in them is so good. Some of them I did chili garlic. So like this one right here, this one I put a spoonful of chili garlic in it, and oh my goodness. When you can meat like this, I make a really good meat gravy because it's so tender, it just mashes up in the pan, and you use all the broth that's in there, and you make a gravy with it just like you would make a sausage gravy or anything else, but your stuff's already cooked. You just have to cook the gravy part. And then add this to it. It's so delicious. It's amazing. But the chili garlic is so good in these, especially game meat recipes. If you're new to game meat, if you're new to like deer and elk and your own home raised pig and that kind of thing, then there's ways that you can season it so that it's to your taste. And then right here, I made a whole bunch of elk chili, but I used a spice that was way too spicy for the family. It said mild, but it wasn't. It wasn't mild. They lied. I think that's why they were on sale. It was like Simple Truth brand, and it said mild, but it was like fire. So I didn't know that it was like fire, and I made a whole bunch of the chili, and nobody ate it except me. And so now I have jars of chili for me, and I can either add these to another chili that I make and make it more mild and just not add any of the spicy chili to it. Or this can be like 1 or 2 days of lunches for me over rice because my husband doesn't eat any of these ingredients that are in here. So this is a delicious elk chili. Maybe the kids, if they get, you know, some of them like heat, but they really couldn't tolerate that. It was fire. So, and then I have, like I said, I've got a cabinet, a tall cabinet full of broths and potatoes. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the potatoes. I can up a bunch of potatoes too because they're just a really good way to fill your family's bellies. So if you have lots of kids like I do, then you are gonna need probably a starch heavy diet. It's economical, it's simple, it's easy, it's delicious. Anybody's gonna eat potatoes, anybody's gonna eat rice, just about, almost anybody. I know my husband when he's on his special diet, he doesn't eat those things. So, but the kids and I will eat lots of potatoes. So I've canned up lots of potatoes, and I'm canning more probably in the next week or two. And I probably have a shelf full right now of just potatoes, and then I have some other things in there. You guys saw all my beans. I have a bunch more broths. Oh, there's so much. But this shelf that I got at a yard sale has just been really convenient for food storage. It had all of our household books on it, and then I had a homeschool bookshelf. So what I did was I donated a whole lot of books that we just didn't use, and then I boxed up all of our homeschool stuff and packed that away, and then put all of our family house books and library books that we love to read on a smaller bookshelf, and that freed up this whole thing. So I had to do some finagling around the house. My husband said, why don't you just buy another one of these? Well, yeah, I could have, but then I would have spent money. And this gray rack, it's adjustable, but my gray rack didn't come with enough shelves for it to accommodate what I wanted it to accommodate. And I bought it at the thrift store, and it was already put together, and then I couldn't get it unjammed by myself to take it apart and put it back together. I wasn't going to do that. 5 kids. Hello? Can't do it all. I try. So, potatoes, beans, broth. I mean, you don't have to do a lot at once. Just do a little bit. Okay? I'm here to tell you, you can do a little bit at a time. You can do an extra bag of rice. If it's a small bag of rice, you can do an extra bag of sugar, an extra canister of salt, the bare minimum. Let's think small. You don't have to get a lot. You don't have to go out and can your own stuff. When you find dollar cans of soup, buy 10 cans of soup. Set them aside. So buy things that your family loves, buy things that you like to eat, that you enjoy to eat, but just buy things little by little and set them aside. I promise you, before you know it, you'll have a nice little safety net of food stores that one day you might be really thankful that you had. I appreciate you so much for watching this long. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much. So thankful for you all. I love chatting with you down in the comments. It just fills me up. And I want to say thank you again so much for being here. Until next time, bye. So all of the foods that I have canned so far this year have been pressure canned foods. I also have a variety of canned foods over there, but we do eat through these things. There are nights when I'm feeling especially tired or just busy working or whatever, and we will eat a stew off of there. That's elk stew. We've got elk bone broth. That's the last of all of our elk bone broth that we have. This is the chicken broth that I have right now. We went through a ton of broth because Aaron was drinking a quart a day for about 2 months. He drank a quart of broth a day, and we were just burning through my broth stores. So he's not doing that right now. So we actually have some stored up. I've got extra jars and more extra jars, and then I have more extra jars somewhere else. But I'm still in the process of getting it all organized. I ran out of these. So these are the things that hold the shelf, but it worked out because I can just put big items down there. Because I'm actually probably going to end up with a whole lot more food once my garden harvests, if I have a good harvest this year. So all of these items are going to be going into these pantries to keep them dust free, and my mixer and some stuff in here. So like things like this are going to go into here. And working with kids. And so everything's a work in progress right now. So yeah, this is just my pantry extension. Let me show you. So back up. This is pantry. It's got some stuff in it, but it needs to be organized. I just organized it a month ago, and it already needs to be organized again. Random stuff. This is also a pantry, a lot of random stuff, all things that we use. We've got our medicine cabinet, and this is the cabinet that I'm working on cleaning out so I can put all my food appliances in there. I also just have like really tall bottles in there, some sparkling ciders back there for celebrations, birthdays and things. And then down here I need to organize because it's a bunch of random jars. It needs to be cleaned, it needs to be gone through. But this is where I hope to move some of my appliances that need to be stored away. And then I can use these shelves right here for food as well.